Guys, welcome back to Dave Doc DIY, and if this is your first time here, thanks for watching. As you can see, we are in a bathroom right now, and if you could tell from the title, we're about to be demoing this out. There is going to be a shower going right here. This shower is going to be eliminated, and I know a lot of people may have these jacuzzi style tubs in your house and you don't know what to do with the space, so this might be a good vision for you if that's a situation you have in your house, if you're trying to envision what your renovation would look like. Now, what we're going to be doing with this one is be putting a standard shower basin, and then I'm going to have a half wall back here where a shower bench is going to be inset into it and go up. There's going to be a shower valve right here with a handle that's going to go back where the bench is, so you have the option to switch between the shower head up here and the handheld shower back here. Here's the vanity area. As you can see, I'm getting set up for demo in here. I'm about to be running my floor protection throughout the house to get a lot of this demo material out. But yeah, as you can see, I'm in for it as far as the tile goes. There is a lot of tiles. Thank God this tile doesn't go all the way up this wall, because that would just be a lot of tile to demo. So right now I'm in the discovery phase. I'm going to start demoing this. I'm not going to show you every bit of the demo, because if you're just looking for how to demo a bathroom, there's plenty of videos out there. I even have some on demoing a bathroom and what to look for before starting a renovation. All the basic stuff, I'm going to get it out. But when I get into the discovery phase with this tub here, that's when we're going to get into me showing you what we might find. Because for me, the way this is designed, I'm not totally sure what to expect on this job myself. That's why we're about to have some surprises here that I'm pretty much ready for. So we're going to get into the demo here. When you see me again, a lot of this is going to be gone, and we're going to see what we have underneath behind this tub and how we can work with it. All right, so here's my progress so far. We got our vanity out. I'm going to throw some caps on these lines just so nothing leaks while we're gone. I got the glass out of this shower here. But now that I got done those, I decided to start digging on our tub. And I found an access panel that was actually hidden behind a door that I didn't notice. And I'm going to be doing a little bit of a cleanup and reset here, because, you know, anytime you start to pile your tools on a shelf, sometimes it's good to just press pause and reset everything. But yeah, as you can see, this is a massive area for this tub, and I just found the drainage situation, and it's not great. Let's go look at it. All right, here we have our access panel. Let me see if this is enough light for you to see. Looks like it is. Our drain in here is concreted into the ground, so this is like worst case scenario. Not happy about it. This actually goes to a hose bib that's in the garage. You can tell that this work is newer work, you know, not brand new, but newer. So maybe this concrete isn't that bad, but tying this drain is just not going to be ideal. It's just not going to be. It's going to be a challenge. That's why I'm showing this to you guys, so you can be prepared when you're doing this. All right, what I'm doing right now is, there was an area of exposed drywall, and I just pulled a couple pieces of this tile out, and it's just on drywall here, coming out very easily. So obviously you can see our wiring right here. They have plenty of it. Don't feel great about this one, but I'm just working my way down the line right now. And we're gonna see, there's shut-off valves here, so that'll be a nice place to start. There's our shut-off valves. Now, one thing I will say that is a positive, all right, glass half full, is that my drain center, I'm like, oh my gosh, it's so close to the framing. And I wasn't even thinking, this is framed off the wall for where the tub is. So our framing starts back here. So the drain is further off the wall that my shower will be going up against, but that thing is concreted in there. So I'm going to shut off the water to the tub for now. disconnect our tub spout up here, which I'll show you. And then I've got some stuff that I'm gonna have to figure out. This is the fun of renovations though. Once you start opening things up, you start to see the challenges. Now here is a good sign, and I'm gonna show you the best way I can. Here's the concrete for the slab. You hear that sound? I'm gonna hit this. Sounds hollow. So there may be some insulation that whoever installed this right here might have just thrown a light layer of concrete over it, which I'm praying that's what they did to make it easier for the next guy. So we will see. I'm gonna keep this demo up, show you the important parts of getting the tub out, and then we're gonna go and discover what's going on in there. All right, I've got my $20 HEPA filter set up here right now. Going to get rid of this shower first, then we're finally going to get rid of our tub.
All right, now what I'm going to do, and sorry if it's a little loud in here, we've got the fans running and everything. I'm going to get these edges out. First, I have my water shut off here. Now this is dead, but this is still live, so you want to be careful not to hit any of those lines. I also have my power off, so I'm going to work around here and get these off. I want this to be down to the framing before I start disconnecting our water lines to the tub, the drainage, and then we're going to cut the tub in a couple sections.
So what I'm about to do now, I know that my water lines are off. I turned the tub spout on up top here just to confirm that water is off, which it is. So I looked under here to make sure that my lines don't go to anything else. They go straight up to the tub spout. So that's where you can start cutting off. After I get these off, just to be safe, even though they have shut-off valves on, I always keep these half-inch shark bite caps on me. They're great for renovations because you can cap something off, pull it off, and then use it again. So now I have the power cut off to this here. We're just going to test and make sure it's dead, and then I'm going to disconnect this junction box and cap off the lines on this wire because there's so much extra wire here. I'm going to be able to use that for an outlet or something else in this bathroom. So what I'm actually doing right now is I decided to cut this edge right here. I was actually going to take the tile and the board off, but I'm like, wait a second. I can keep this all in one piece. So cutting through with the Sawzall, and I'm just gonna nip these supports with the Sawzall and take these out in a couple pieces. It is a lot of wood, but all the wood is out. My drain snapped, actually, when I was taking one section out, but it doesn't matter because it needs to be changed out. And here are the results of our tile being demoed. This is a big bathroom, very big bathroom. So the next stuff we're going to be getting into will be the work on this drain. All right, guys, so as you can see, a lot has changed from the last clip, but what we've discovered here is I'm going to be able to have some nice play on my drain. So as you can see, we have a massive space here. So at this point, if you're going to want to put a huge shower that's going to fill this space, which this customer does not want to do, they want to kind of have more of a standard shower with a bench that's going to be back here and take up some of this space. So we're going to have about a 7-foot long footprint here. But you could technically just do a custom shower base in this entire base. You could get a tile ready shower that you could definitely get drain center from. I mean, if you're working in an area where you have wood flooring underneath, it's obviously going to be a different story. You're probably going to have more playability here. But for me, what I need to see is where I can get center on my drain, which, you know, a 34-inch shower base is usually going to be around the 16, 17-inch mark for drain center, which I don't think is going to work. I think I'm going to have to do a 36 to 48 inch. I think 40 is too big. Just thinking out loud here right now. Yeah. So we have about 43.5 to work with here. So I'm gonna have to do some research, look at some drain specs, find some centers, because I don't want to get into cutting the concrete slab on this just to get the shower, you know, a smaller shower base in here. I think we can work with a bit of a wider one, or I'll frame out from here, which I just think kind of is a bit of a waste of space, but we'll see. I'm going to look at some bases and order that up. The next thing you'll see, I'm going to start roughing in for my shower valve. I'm going to be cutting out the old shower here. We're going to throw some valves on here. I'm going to convert to PEX, and we're going to run right through here, which leads us to my next problem. We have a vent running directly in the center of where the shower valve should go. So again, I'm in a condo here. I don't know if this is tied into the seam tub fixture right above me here. Hopefully I don't need to look into that. I'll know a little bit more once I get this wall taken out for where my tile is going to go. I'm going to do a cutout around here, and then we're going to move along. But yeah, definitely a challenge here, but now that everything's out of here, we got plenty of space. I'm going to be cleaning up all this old tile mortar here, get a nice smooth surface. The floor seems nice and level. I haven't thrown a level on it yet, but it just looks like it's well made and level. So that's a good thing. We're going to get that filled in. A lot of work ahead. All right, as you can see, got our copper lines cut out, old shower valve removed. Today was a bit of a crazier day, trying to do some planning, thinking a little bit too much, but we're moving along. I'm going to order this shower base, and then we're going to get into the fun stuff. All right, so my water lines are in right here. I have them capped off for now until we know the shower valve situation. We have our drain capped off, drywall taken out, so we are looking pretty good here. The next thing is ordering the shower base, and a 36-inch shower base is going to put me right on this ledge. There's going to be concrete work involved. I don't want to cut this out. If I have to, I have to, but it's definitely not in an ideal position. That's a word salad right there. But yeah, we're going to get it figured out. It's easier for me to search for bases on my computer rather than on my phone. So yeah, up next is really figuring out a lot of this electrical here, patching up the drywall, making sure that's all good. And the floor, I used this grinder attachment, and we have all of the mortar cleaned up, so it's very smooth. Even though you see some of these white patches around here, it is just totally smooth. So I have a great surface for tiling the floor. I'm excited about that. So we're going to get to ordering the base. Next time you see me, we're going to be roughing in our drain for the base and the shower valve. We're going to figure out the situation with this vent. So it's a good first week. I had some scheduling things going on here, so certain days I probably didn't get as much done as I wanted to, but demo for the most part is done. Time to move on to the fun stuff. All right, we are back with another update here, and what it is our layout is set. We're going to be putting the 42-inch by 60 shower base in. As you can see, this is how wide it's going to be. That's how long it's going to be. This is the area for my framing and where the bench is going to go. So the next step is going to be framing this out now. Design-wise, the shower is definitely different than a lot of things I've done before. So I'm just trying to have the vision for this bench, especially because there's not going to be a glass door in this shower. So I'm trying to envision the framing for this, but I'm kind of thinking out loud here. You're going to see the framing tomorrow once I'm here. But yeah, this bathroom is looking good. We've got our concrete patched in over there. We got our lighting in. A little bit of a delay on some of the products to come in, but we're moving ahead. I'm going to move this drain over so I can get my center for my shower valve. As you can see, center is right there. And then I'm going to rough in my drain here, which is going to be at 21 inches from the side and 12 inches off the wall. So I'm going to have to do a little digging, but we're moving right along here. This floor is in great shape. It is super smooth. It's level. Can't ask for more. So guys, right now I am in the middle of the framing process. As you can see, I have a layout. Some things have changed from my layout as I started cutting my wood here, but I'm just kind of playing as I go. Gonna feel out the height that I want for the shower seat. Gonna cut it a little high, and if it feels too high, I'll shorten it, because I can't make it taller if I cut it too short to start. So I'm going to have my back wall framed along that back line here. I'm gonna have my side wall. I measured out from my curb, so we're going to sit fairly nicely for the curb. If someone ever wants to put a shower door on in the future, there's going to be material there for you to put it onto. So we're looking good. So as you can see here, this is going to be the front of my bench. I have this wall framed in right here. Sent it into the concrete with the ram set right here. But yeah, we're about to do the back wall and this. And then we'll have our plates for where our plywood can rest on. So what I'm actually going to be doing is waiting for my base to get in, just because I want to make sure it feels right as far as the height goes on all of this. So I'm going to be setting it to the floor, but I just want to make sure, you know, you don't want to just guess what it's going to feel like and set all of this in place and then have to take it all apart. So we're going to wait for that. Everything is in position here though. We're looking good. Gonna have to add another stud over in this corner. But yeah, that's how we're looking here. I am pretty happy with it. All right, my shower base is officially in at Home Depot. Here you can see my 21-inch mark right here and my 12-inch mark. We got our drain exposed here, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to get the base in here, and then I'm going to figure out the best way to plumb this in. I mean, it's not an ideal situation the way this drain is. I really don't want to risk cutting back to this 2-inch here because it's close to this stack, and yeah, we don't want to get involved in any of that, as you may know. So we're most likely going to be switching from 1.5 to 2-inch. But yeah, that's what we're looking at right now. I'm gonna go get that base. So right now we have our base fit and our drain is on center. This drain was an absolute pain to do, just where everything was to be able to get my trap to fit in there. Absolute pain. But we're gonna be using one of these compression fitting shower drains, and I'll cut the drain to size. I'm actually going to be pulling the drain up again. Now you can use an inside pipe cutter to cut around here. I have some gappage going on in here, so I want to fill that in and reinforce it just so we don't have too many gaps underneath here. I mean, this base is very strong, but we're not going to take any risks with that. So we're going to fill that in, leave an area of space around our drain, backfill it, and we'll be good to go. But I'm going to slide this washer on here and make a mark, but I'm also going to cut it a little bit high because I'm about to set some mortar. I'm about to set some mortar mix under this to make it a very solid base. So I'm going to leave some wiggle room on this drain when I cut it before we seal everything up. So our plumbing is fully installed here. I've water tested everything, as you can see on my caps. Now, does this look pretty running through the wall the way it does? No, but I wanted full runs going to my shower head and from my feet. So that's why I wanted the pipe's flexibility to work as easily as it could down to get to here. So we had to go up a little bit with it. Hindsight, I would have ran my line technically like the tub spout, but I already soldered this on here. I would have had to take everything off, sweat it, and yeah, it would have been involved to switch it over. Not a big deal. We're feeding from the top. Our diverter, you turn one handle, comes out of handheld, and then the other two go up to the shower head because there's only one option for each. It's not possible for me to do a shower head and handheld with this style diverter. They make other ones obviously that you can do that with, but this is just a single setting one. Now, say there was a tub spout and this was a tub, this fitting right here would be feeding your tub spout, and you'd most likely have this on this wall, but we wanted to have this over here near our bench. What I'm doing right now is I'm putting some blocking in 36 inches around for grab bars, if they possibly go in, they'll be right around this area. But for now, that's just putting it in there so we have the option. Don't know if they're going there or not. As you can see, I also did it right here. Another thing I will say, this is technically an outside wall, but there is a garage space over on the other side of this. It's heavily insulated. The garage really doesn't get cold. I'm keeping all my plumbing on this side. So now if this was an outside wall, I'd be doing things differently here. But yeah, we're keeping everything on this side of the insulation. Plus we have a full garage where you have a good distance to the outside on the other side of this. It actually goes lengthwise out. So I'm really not worried about that. So yeah, just so you know, when you're seeing this with the insulation, don't think, what the heck is he doing his plumbing on an outside wall? Now what I'm going to do with the top of my bench here is set it in tile mortar so we don't have any penetrations on this right here. That way if water's sitting on it, there's no screw holes or anything to let that water get through. All right, and here are the results. I'm gonna allow this caulking dry overnight. Got to do drywall next to this, but after this we will be ready for tile. Really happy with how everything came out, and it's just a massive shower. It's gonna look awesome. Big shower, plenty of space. All right, got some drywall done. As you can see, we've got our tiles sitting here ready for cutting. Wanted to get tiles set today, but just trying to figure out some of the layout stuff today and everything. And we got to get these pieces of corner bead on before I set the tile anyway. So yeah, definitely a bit of a learning curve working with 2 foot by 4 foot tiles. So if you ever want to do that and you're doing it yourself, it's just not the same as just, you know, if these were 12 by 24s or whatever, I would have probably had at least half the back wall done today after getting this stuff done, but it just takes more planning. So we did a nice reorganize. We set up our cutting area. Tomorrow we get our win. I thought I was gonna get the win today. Today's a small victory. Win tomorrow. All right, I'm finally about to be setting tile. I have my workstation up here. Here's my tile for the left, the right, and then this one I have it laying flat with my handles under there so I can back butter it. I'm going to be using a 3/4 by 3/8 U-notch trowel. So we'll back butter this, and then we're going to trowel out on the wall. But yeah, if you're using big tile like this, make sure you know your pattern before you just start throwing tiles up. I had to open multiple boxes to find the first row pattern. Guys, what we have right here is the Shijing 48-inch manual tile cutter. Now this is a tile cutter that you can buy from Amazon. I just purchased it for this job because I'm doing large format. I did one manual cut with my grinder and I just was not happy with the edge that I got, and I'm like, you know what? Everything's been going large format. I might as well just get a cutter. Now, if you're going to get one of these from one of the big box stores, it's obviously going to run you a lot more money. I was checking out some of the ones that they have at Floor and Decor, and they run around the $600, $700, $800 range. So I figured I'd take a risk on this. All right, guys, so here's our moment of truth. Now that felt very smooth, I'm going to say. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, I like that. Doesn't get much better than that. All right, guys, and here is the shower, fully tiled. I actually just took my cardboard protection out of there because it had some mortar spots all over it. I'm going to do a nice little cleanup here, and then I'm going to put a new sheet of cardboard in there as we move on to the flooring. It's pretty much a tool reset. I'm gonna knock out all my spacers. The grout for the shower is the same as the grout for the floor. So what I'm going to do is knock all these out. I'm going to tile our floor here. And yeah, it is pretty crazy to see the footprint of this shower compared to what was in here before. It's crazy actually. So we're going to knock these out and get a layout plan for our flooring and finish up some drywall as well. But for now, let's clean up. All right, guys, it's been a minute since I gave you an update on what's going on here. It's just been very busy, but here you can see our flooring. Now, I'm not sure how it's showing up on the camera because when I'm taking pictures of this floor, the grays really show up more in video and in photos. So it's a very light gray that just blends right through all of this. And we are about to grout here. So I'm about to be mixing up this grout here. It's power grout, fast drying, doesn't require any sealing or anything. Grout is probably one of my least favorite parts of doing any bathroom renovation. So yeah, but we're getting close to the finish line of this one. I mean, you guys have been watching since the beginning. I mean, just look at the transformation of this room compared to what it was before. As you can see, we also have some paint samples on the wall here. Pretty sure this is the one that we're going to be going with. I have to move this light still, but I want to make sure it's dead center on my vanity. So what I'm probably going to be doing is getting my vanity set, getting my centers, because it's a custom vanity. I just want to make sure it's perfect. I don't want these lights to be off because I have the opportunity for them to be centered. So once that's in, I am going to mark my centers, cover the vanity up, run my wires in, and put the two lights there. And I'm sorry for being bad. Just dropped my pencil. Sorry for being bad on updates with this. You know, I kind of wanted to show the transformation of this. I said in the beginning of the video, this isn't going to be me showing me doing all the work, because there's plenty of good guys out there like Tile Coach, Bathroom Remodeling Teacher, to show you guys how to do this stuff. But I really just want to show you what you can do with your bathroom if you have one of these huge jacuzzi tubs in a space. And as you can see here, the bench is just, it's really awesome. I'm not sure how water flow is going to be. I started to think if I should have framed this out for the bench to go up to the edge of the shower here, but I don't know how realistic that is, because my framing would have had to go over the lip of the tub, and I just kind of don't love the idea of that. If there's any pros watching this and you guys have any suggestions for me on that, I mean, this is kind of my first request for a bench that's on a shower base compared to tiling the base where it would just flow right into it. So that was one thing where I'm like, is this the right call or not? And obviously with water running, we will find out. All right, here's another update. As you can see, it's been a while since I gave you one. I'm sorry, we got busy here. But as you can see, we're ready to start doing our trim. We have our pantry cabinet in here. There's going to be crown molding on the top of that. Getting my sink in caused some little scratches, but just going to replace this outlet, get our mirrors in, get our medicine cabinet in. That's something that I wish I looked at before, because the height of this is most likely going to be close to my lights. So that's just one of those things that happens in finish. And here you can see all of our shower trim is on. You've got your control here that switches from handheld to shower head. You've got your bar in here and everything. And I've done some water testing and sprayed water all over this corner, and it still just flows right down into the pan. So that was a worry that we had, and it's not a worry anymore. So gonna get our trim in here, get our toilet in, get these cabinet doors in. We're gonna start drilling some holes for handles. It's just a little tedious work. That's the hardest part of finish, is just the little stuff where you just have to keep switching your tools for every single thing you do. So it's the fun part, but we're getting there. As you can see now, toilet is in. We've got the pantry in. We've got our mirrors, medicine cabinet. All I gotta do is these outlets, put on the regular plate for this because lost the screws when I started the job on that. Towel holders, outlet cover, and then I gotta caulk this sink and the toilet. And then we're done. Stay tuned though, because the full reveal is about to happen. All right. Here is the finished product. Got our toilet in here, got our Beautiful pantry cabinet here, plenty of storage space, plenty of room for movement. Here is our vanity, double sink. Nice space in the middle here. Got our drawers, one extra hook that has to go on. There is a wood stain that looks like Jesus in it, which is pretty cool. Three drawers, plumbing in here, nice and clean. Moving on to our shower. We've got regular shower head. We might switch this out. Obviously, shower valve, handheld controls, and then you have your bench. So here's a POV view of the bench. Plenty of space in the shower. It's a nice big shower. And here's our floor. I'm really happy with this flooring. I just think it looks so good. Natural stone. Everything in here is nice and clean. Super happy with it. We have a medicine cabinet here, mirrors. This thing came out good. So if you were ever wondering what the space could look like where you have that old 90s jacuzzi tub, it could look like this. So I hope this helped you out in designing your bathroom possibly. I know I didn't do any step-by-steps or how-tos in this, but yeah, the results are awesome. Appreciate you guys following. Look out for the next one. Dave Doc DIY.